So the Cowboys are at a standstill in contract talks with 3 of their key offensive players.
Yeah.
And according to The Athletic, Dak has turned down a $30 million per year offer. If that's true, Dak projected a deal that would have made him the 6th highest paid quarterback in terms of average salary. And we're also 18 days into Zeke's holdout. And before Saturday's preseason game, Jerry Jones says he is not bothered.
Any updates with Ezekiel Elliott's contract?
Yes, and consequently, if they'll read the newspaper, they'll see that he's still in Cabo and we're here in San Francisco. It's a marathon. It's a long season. It's a long career. And so that you don't let a week or you don't let a month, you don't let any of that bother you. And it goes on all the time. It's not like you play 16 games. You work on this 12 months a year.
I can buy that Jerry Jones is not concerned about how all this is going to play out. Now, I'm sure he wants to win, and he realizes that having all of them available and on the field is important. But Jerry's been through crazier times than this with the Cowboys and his tenure there. So I don't think that he is overly stressed about that. I think they're trying to get the best deal to move forward. That said, if Dak is going to be compared to Carson Wentz his entire career, right? Like they're kind of joined at the hip as far as their careers.
Like Baker and Darnold.
Yes,
You're kind of
like
connected.
They're just going to be connected, and it's the way it is. And of course, because he is the Cowboys quarterback. But if you look at, let's use Wentz's contract as an example, because Dak has allegedly turned down $30 million. Carson Wentz got $32 million, 4 years, $32 million, $66 million guaranteed. Many didn't feel like that was a bad deal for the Eagles, and you got to pay Carson Wentz. But if you compare their careers, Dak is every bit within his right to ask for more than $30 million. Now, I know everyone feels like he is not worth that because of his skill level. But again, I just have to point to the wins. He is 1-2 in the playoffs. Wentz has yet to play in a playoff game. I know everyone is looking forward in Carson Wentz's career, but one of the best abilities is availability. And that's what I constantly go back to with Carson Wentz. I understand it's very young in his career, but he's had a lot of injuries. And Dak is there. He is always available. I mean, look at Zeke's holdout. And he's only played 9 games with Amari and is 32-16. And Zeke has missed 6 games and he's 32-16.
What hurts Dak is that the team has a superstar running back, and mostly it feels like within the organization, it's a Zeke run offense, not a Dak run offense, whereas Carson Wentz has a series of like B running backs. So teams have to make a decision. In that backfield component, can we pay 2 people huge money? Generally, the feeling in the NFL is pay the quarterback. Unless he's on a rookie deal, then you can sign Todd Gurley for 3 years. The problem is Zeke wanting this 2 years early.
Yes, Zeke is sort of the issue here because Zeke really should have waited until next year. But I understand where Zeke is coming from because of his position. He feels like he needs to secure the money up front. I don't think that this is the year to do it, but this is how Zeke feels about his career, and he's probably not wrong because running backs are becoming less and less of a commodity. That said, Dallas could have tied this up months ago. Waiting until now and risking Zeke holding out, and then you know that you have to pay Amari too, it's really on Dallas.
Listen, if you pay Dak 32, let's say, and you pay Zeke 16, you got $48 million against the cap in one small space of the football team, in the backfield. So, to me, I mean, I think with Philadelphia, they're like, yeah, in 2 years, we'll pay Carson Wentz a fortune, but we don't pay anybody else in the backfield. And by the way, their offensive line is old, so Philadelphia is going to start moving off some of these offensive linemen. So, I mean, I think a lot of this is you're trying to figure out outside a quarterback, where do you sprinkle the lettuce around? And I think Dallas is like, do we want to have $48 million tied up in a backfield?
I mean, I get it, but Dak's been on a 4th-round rookie deal.
Yeah, but Zeke...
You had plenty of time to figure this out.
But Zeke was on a first-round deal and came 2 years early.
It's more on Zeke,
It's more on Zeke. I think they want to pay Dak, but they're thinking if we pay Dak this and we have to get Zeke... So, I mean, I'm
sure they didn't anticipate Dak being what he is.
Right.
So being in a situation where they have to pay him that. So the Colts are 3 weeks and 6 days away from week 1, and they'll have joint practices with the Browns this week. But Andrew Luck will be out as he works his way back from a lingering calf injury. And Frank Reich gave an update on Luck's status, saying continuing to progress with his strength, still a degree of pain in his calf that he's not comfortable with. Obviously, we're not comfortable with putting him out there. We're going to continue work with our medical staff on the plan moving forward. He has only practiced 3 times since injuring his calf in April. And Peter King pointed out last week that he has also had 3 MRIs on this strained calf. So that kind of shows a pretty serious level of concern and also a lot of confusion concerning the injury. And they play the Chargers in week 1. I don't like this at all. I don't like it. It's still lingering. I think if you enter the season injured, you're going to leave the season injured, so that we can anticipate kind of a touch-and-go situation with Andrew Luck this year. And that's one of those injuries that, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it seems like you want to have that 100% healthy before the season starts. And it's kind of interesting that they've had 3 MRIs on it already.
I don't know what I trust. The new NFL paradigm, and I watched every preseason game this weekend. Like, nobody's playing their starters.
Well, I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with him not playing, but the not practicing thing is concerning. If he was only not playing in the preseason games, not even a concern, because what does Andrew Luck need to be in a preseason game for? Yeah. But he's not practicing. That is what's concerning. Finally, Mike Tomlin is heading into year 13, and despite being the league's 3rd longest tenured head coach, and his footing in Pittsburgh seems a little unstable. He finished 9-6-1 and missed the playoffs last year, as we know, and he recently just signed a 1-year contract extension through 2021, but he told Peter King he is not worried about his future.
I love the job. I love the challenges that it presents. The variables are ever-changing. It's continually stimulating. In terms of longevity, I don't think a lot about longevity. I just like to feel the urgency of now. You do that enough, man, and you win enough, then you get longevity. Longevity has never been my focus or my agenda. I just want to be a really good football team here in 2019.
Best coach on a microphone in league history. You literally write that down.
He's very good.
You should literally write what he just put down, and you should put it in the what coaches should say when asked about contracts. That's literally exactly what you'd write down.
Well, he should have no concern about his contract. I know everyone's doubting the Steelers this year, and I do think they are in a bit of a prove-it year because they did lose Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, which is a lot of talent to lose on the offensive side of the ball. The Steelers are going to win the AFC North this year. Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. I know everyone thinks it's just like all falling apart. I do think that their window for winning another championship is very, very small because Roethlisberger doesn't have that much time left in the league.
Right.
And I don't know who they plan on replacing him with.
Great O-line, great GM. I watched him this weekend. Boy, that James Washington with Juju Smith. They drafted a running back. I don't get the sky is falling with Pittsburgh. I like them all.
Because the Steelers have expectations of a Super Bowl every single year, no matter what the situation is. Everyone in Pittsburgh right now, currently, expects the Steelers to win the Super Bowl this year. And if they don't, that is not success. The Steelers aren't just trying to make the playoffs. And when you play with expectations like that, you play up to those expectations. There's been a lot of breakdown in culture with the Steelers, which is what makes everyone nervous.
Yeah, that I get. Joy with the news.
Well,